tax laws are changing all the time. So estate planning strategies may need to change because of changes in the law as well. It doesn't matter whether it's a will or a trust or power of attorney or medical directive. Sure. All of these things are things that you should be looking at every 3 years or so to make sure that they still meet your needs and that the people that you've designated still want to do the job if something happens to you.
Welcome to the Nicholas Brown Podcast, a podcast talk show about real estate investing, business leadership, and personal development. Each week, we explore current real-life case studies about how to build financial independence through investing in real estate to build your personal portfolio through passive income models, along with interviews from the top business leaders and personal development leaders. Now, here's your host, Nicholas Brown.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I got another great episode, and this episode is going to deal mostly about estate planning and great information input. I'm just going to read the about section, ladies and gentlemen, then we're going to get straight to the source. Make sure you guys also subscribe to the channel. If you're listening in on any podcast channel, your main podcast channel, which is iTunes and other channels, make sure you guys download this. Also going to be a great episode. Today's guest is estate planning attorney Antoinette Bone. Attorney Bone is an estate planning attorney and former Air Force Judge Advocate General with more than 25 years of client-centered legal expertise. As of the top estate planning attorneys in her area, Attorney Bone give clients peace of mind by providing comprehensive, personalized estate planning, elder law, probate, and guardianship services that include drafting customized wills, trusts, medical directives, and power of attorney to meet the unique needs of each client and their family. Her vision for her clients is to give them the peace of mind they want by providing them the estate plan they need. Her key areas of expertise are the following: elder law, Medicaid and veteran benefits planning. She supports families, seniors, and veterans seeking to provide for their family, protect their assets, and pay for long-term care. Estate planning. She designed customized plans to ensure protection for your family in case you're incapacitated or pass or incapacitated. I apologize, or pass away. Probate. She helps grieving families settle the affairs of their loved one and transfer wealth by guiding them through probate process. Guardianship. She supports caregivers of disabled children and incapacitated seniors by guiding them through guardianship processes. You see why her area of expertise works. Here's why it works, ladies and gentlemen, and here's why. Your estate plans are about more than your financial matters. I had to read this. I'm going to repeat that. Your estate plans are about more than your financial matters. They're tied to your goals for your life and your family. They're also living documents that must be kept current as your circumstances change throughout the years. I stress that. They cover naming guardians for children, healthcare directives, avoiding probate, protecting material and intellectual assets, establishing protective trusts for loved ones, and transferring the personal values our clients want to see passed on to their heirs. Attorney Bone's legal experience and passion for streamlining complex process enable her to provide clear legal documentation that simplifies the process of carrying out your wishes. Beyond the office, Attorney Bone enjoys yoga, functional strength training, playing piano, and spending time with her family. She's also a lifelong learner who loves road trips and international travel. If you want to reach out to her, you can talk to her and connect with her, which is how I reached her, ladies and gentlemen, on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is so powerful, I promise you. Then you can also contact her by her email, which is Antoinette at abonelaw.com. I'm going to spell it ANTOINETTE at ABONELAW.com. Or you can call at 817-462-5454. You can also schedule an appointment online at abonelawscheduling.as.me. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. Thanks for
Wow.
having me.
Wow, you got, and I'd love to say thank you for your service also. Thank you for your
Thank you.
service. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get straight to it. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe because it's very important. This is a subject which on my podcast, and if you're listening in, if you're watching, I don't cover as much, which I'm about to veer to this. And I'm fortunate that I have this professional that is a person of authority. She's going to talk about estate planning and what it covers, and it's what's needed, because we're going to start focusing on that. Because my niche, where I came from, is real estate investing. I was a mortgage broker and everything, but I always come across these type of fields of attorneys and probate and wills and everything when I was refinancing or trying to get someone out of the situation for the home. So it wasn't just about closing. It's about building a relationship with the professionals such as yourself on there. But Attorney Bone, I want to stress that part before we get to your deep knowledge on this subject, though. But before we begin, what got you started? What motivated you to become a state attorney? Estate planning attorney. I apologize.
So I spent 4 years on active duty as a JAG in the Air Force. And what most people don't realize is that as JAGs, and this applies across the services, you do a lot of estate planning because our population can get sent off to places from which they might not return.
Right.
And it is beneficial for command, and it's beneficial for the families to have a plan in place should that unfortunate event happen. So we do a lot of estate planning as JAGs. There's a constant stream of people coming into the legal office, some who are active duty, who are getting ready to deploy. And then we also provide services to active duty family members and retirees. So I started doing estate planning there and found that I liked it a lot. It's really an intellectually challenging practice area. Like I enjoy deep relationships with people, and doing estate planning is a way for me to engage that aspect of my personality, because I have to get to know people in doing their estate plan. I need to understand about them. I definitely need to understand about their family dynamics. So, I have to ask a lot of personal questions. I mean, they aren't meant to be intrusive, but they are designed for a purpose, because what your family dynamic is can have a significant impact on what your estate plan looks like. So when we moved to Texas in 2003, my husband and I, we both met in the Air Force.
Okay.
And when we did that, I ultimately had to decide how I wanted to manage my time, and that I wanted to control my own time, or more control my own time. And when I was looking around at what practice area I wanted to get into, I looked at a couple of different things. I had been a prosecutor, so that was doing criminal defense work was kind of a natural step, but I decided that that's not what I wanted to do.
Really?
And then I turned to estate planning because I had done a great deal of it, and it was something that I really enjoyed.
Was that your passion? You loved helping? I mean, of course you was in the criminal the field, but do you like helping people of that certain field? Or I like the after effect, because when when I did sales or marketing, I love getting people, especially in getting their first home or whatever. I love the after effect, the excitement that, they feel like they couldn't do it compared to your position as a state in that field, which is wide. What do you like about it, dude? What do you like about it?
Well, I enjoy the fact that I get to know people because
Sure.
again, I enjoy having close relationships with people
Okay.
and deep relationships with people. And so the work that I do as an estate planning attorney allows me to have those kinds of relationships with my clients. Because I don't want to be just the lawyer that you see once in a lifetime. I want to
Okay.
be your lawyer for life because estate planning is a process. It is not a transaction. Like you
Okay.
mentioned when reading my bio, it's as your life changes, your estate plan needs to change too. People
Okay.
may die, you may have children, you may one of the people that you appointed to be a fiduciary, whether that be an executor or your agent under a power of attorney, may decide that, oh, that's not a responsibility that they really want. So it's important to stay in touch with your estate plan, and I recommend that people review their estate plan at least every 3 years or so,
Okay.
and especially if we've done any type of consideration for tax planning, because tax laws are changing all the time. So estate planning strategies may need to change because of changes in the law as well.
What about the wheels? What if I made a wheel 9 years ago? Should I
Same
update
thing.
it?
It doesn't matter whether
Sure.
it's a will or a trust or power of attorney or medical directive.
Sure.
All of these things are things that you should be looking at every 3 years or so to make sure that they still meet your needs and that the people that you've designated still want to do the job if something happens to you.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what should people know about estate planning?
Oh, so much,
Really?
because what most people don't know is a lot.
Okay.
Again, estate planning is a process. It is not a transaction. And people need to understand that in order to have a plan that reflects what your goals are for your family, for yourself, that takes time. So, if you're going to see an attorney or they just send you a form and you never really meet them until the signing, that's kind of a problem. They should spend some time getting to know you and truly understanding what your family dynamic is, because again, that has a significant impact on what your estate plan will look like. What your assets are important as well. Sometimes people come to me and they want a trust, and that's great. I love to do trust-based planning.
Okay.
But sometimes a trust just isn't suitable for them. And I'm looking at what their assets are, and of course, primarily what their goals are. So, I'm not going to recommend people do something that really doesn't make sense for their situation. And, there are many different roles that you have to appoint people to serve in terms of estate planning. So there's executors for wills, there's trustees for trusts, there's agents under different powers of attorney. And one very important thing that people need to understand is that you may think that having an estate plan doesn't matter, that your family will just figure it out when you're gone. And I mean, they will figure it out. But what you have now done is potentially left them a mess to deal with. Grieving can be a stressful time for people. They've just experienced the death of someone that they loved, hopefully.
Right.
And when that happens, some people they shut down and they really cannot function and get things done. But when you die, there are a lot of things that need to get done, very practical things. But it can be very difficult for someone to be in the mindset to just take care of routine business.
Right.
And so having a plan in place makes dealing with things a lot easier. There are a couple of specific situations that come up and people probably don't give much thought to this. Like when you die, who's going to be in control of your body, your remains?
Right.
Now, there's a form where you can designate someone to be in control. And, it's a few pages long, but it can be extremely important if your family has been one where either your surviving spouse, who may or may not be the mother of your children, don't get along. In second marriages, I cannot stress enough how important estate planning is. It's important even if you've had a long-term marriage, but particularly in second marriages or third marriages, because the kids don't always get along with the surviving spouse. And kids themselves can fight amongst themselves about who's going to be the decision maker. Some people think that they should be the decision maker simply because they're the oldest, but they may not be the most dependable person.
Right.
So that's one instance. People do fight about these things. They fight about whether or not you should be wearing glasses in your casket, or what dress or suit you should be buried in, or whether you should be buried or cremated. And sometimes people are simply just spiteful and they want to hold up the process to create havoc in the life of the surviving spouse.
Right.
So if you love your spouse, please, please, please do some estate planning. And another situation that can come up that people probably don't give any thought to is during any period of their lifetime where they become incapacitated, and focusing more on the long-term incapacitation, like maybe they're suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. And, there's no cure for that. There's therapies that can maybe help slow things down, but it is at some point your capacity continues to diminish. And you may need to have a guardian appointed. And having in place a pre-need designation of guardian is something that can help keep family relationships intact, because you get to name who it is that you want to serve as your guardian, and sometimes more importantly, who you don't want to serve.
Sure.
And so back to why you should be keeping in touch with your estate planning every 3 years or so. Maybe you've named some child or family member or friend to serve as a guardian.
Sure.
And maybe your relationship with that person has changed. To put your estate planning as a done it and forget about it means that if you ever need a guardian, maybe this person will say, yeah, I'm not going to serve. Or maybe they do choose to serve, but really your relationship with them wasn't in a good place at the time that you needed a guardian. And if you were able to, you probably would not have selected them, or you would have removed them. But at that point, it's kind of too late.
Right.
So you don't want to wait until it's too late to plan, because there does come a point in time where it can be too late to plan, especially for people who are suffering from mental decline.
Okay. Well, Attorney Bone, I definitely appreciate your time. How can they get, what areas are you in Texas? What areas of the United States do you focus on?
So I am licensed in Texas.
Okay.
I can serve clients throughout the state of Texas, but practically speaking, people in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Okay.
And, if you want to find out more about me and what I do, you can always visit my website at abonelaw.com. And if you are ready to plan, you can call my office at 817-462-5454 and set an appointment with my assistant, and she will get you on the calendar. Or you can also go to the website and set an appointment there.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm going to have it in the description, and I will have it on this video if you're watching on YouTube. Well, Attorney Bone, any last words or any words of encouragement or things people should look for before we get off this section, which I definitely appreciate your time here.
Absolutely. Get your estate planning done. Don't delay. Time is not on your side, even though you may think it is. And I mean, you should be thinking about estate planning as an act of love, because that's really what it is. You are showing your family that you cared enough about them to have a plan in place so that during what can be a very stressful time in their life, they don't have to guess about what you wanted, nor do they have to guess about who you wanted to be making decisions. It really, truly is a gift that you can give to your family. And, do it for yourself. You can pay for it for your kids to get them to do it.
That's right.
But get it done.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks, Attorney Bone, for your time, for coming on the show. And anything, like I said, I can do to help you, or please come. Let me back to the story, ladies and gentlemen, before we end this. It's all about building value, and I'm sure you guys have value. But we met on LinkedIn, and we connected from a book called The Go-Giver. So that's just an example of my podcast. She's just a go-giver of value, and that's why I want to shout out. I believe in shout outs. Attorney Bone, I appreciate you, because I wouldn't have met you without the type of value that you have given on LinkedIn. So I appreciate your time. Okay.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
for coming
you for
on
having
the
me.
show.
Oh, and you can also visit my YouTube page.
Awesome. What's your YouTube channel name?
It's
So
A Bone Law.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll do that. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As I always say, don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on the Nicholas Brown Podcast. Make sure to visit our website, www.nickbrowninc.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. If you like this show and you are a new real estate investor, then check out one of Nicholas's free reports called the Wholesale Dominator Report, also located on our website, www.nickbrowninc.com/free reports. Be sure to tune in for our next episode. And remember, don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. Have a great day.